is the number available from Indian data. And the trends are seen increasingly in patients who already had a heart bypass. So earlier we were talking of heart block and blocks or heart attacks, and then you have a bypass or angioplasty. But now this problem is seen even after that. That means so many patients don't become totally alright after silent heart attacks, which frequently happens in diabetics. So many attacks or multiple attacks lead to damage to the heart muscle. This weak heart failure. தமிழ்ல the இதய சிலையாடுன்னு சொல்லுவோம். The same problem, heart failure. Elderly, also 75 years, frequently have this heart weakness and heart failure. Young patients. Now we also in our practice see a lot of patients, young patients. Very surprisingly, when people are not aware. Even infants, 11 months, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Younger patients who don't have this coronary block problem, but have a different problem of the heart muscle. It can be sometimes familiar. And this leads to a problem called cardiomyopathy and severe heart failure. This can also be seen in ladies after delivery, so called postpartum. So a mother has a child but develops heart weakness for the next 3 months. Another sad one. And then sometimes you have children and adults who have congenital heart, like hole in the heart, and other complex problems, heart operation. That sometimes doesn't work for long, leads to heart failure, heart muscle weakness. Next. So this is again corroborated by the US data, in which they have estimated their number to be totally about 57 lakh people per year, and this needs about 1 million or 10 lakh hospitalizations. These multiple hospitalizations, re-hospitalization. This is one important economic problem in US, for US, especially US insurance. So within 30 days or 6 months, 25 to 50% again and again come and get admitted with no solution. This hospitalization costs a lot of amount, like 60 to 70% of total heart failure. So this is more firm data from United States. Next. So what is heart failure? So heart failure is an end stage problem. End stage. After like the car engine is there, this car engine develops multiple defects, and then you keep on repairing. In the end, it goes into terminal failure. At that time, you can do very few things. You can't just do bypass and angioplasty. So it basically is a situation where the heart muscle becomes weak, the heart is enlarged, and then the pumping capacity is reduced. Because of this, there are various consequences. Like as you see here, breathing difficulty, swelling, like gaining weight, more water accumulation in the body, cough at night, severe weakness, etc. Next.
Failure is a condition where, heart is a pump. It has to continuously beat from the day of born, from the day of death. So when this heart pumping efficacy comes down, then what happens we call as a heart failure. It is not the complete stopping of a heart, but it's just the pumping efficiency has come down. Once the pumping efficiency comes down, what happens is the patient's quality of life will be severely hindered. So he cannot do any routine stuffs like walking the door or opening the door or even lying down. So these type of symptoms are high, and these patients are not managed effectively currently in India. Obviously, there are a lot of hospitals which does heart failure management, but there is no comprehensive program to take care of the patient, counsel them, tell them what to eat, what type of lifestyle they should, and to improve the quality of life, which is very important. So here if you see heart failure, clinically speaking, it is a syndrome. It is not a single organ, because we all think heart failure means it's heart. No, heart failure is a condition where because of your heart pumping efficiency goes down, it affects various other systems also. So this type of patient, what happens is the management become complex because it's not a single system. It involves a lot of other systems in the body also. When the management become complex, the drug which the patient has to take also is complex. There are multiple medication. So the patient has to be put on 4 or 5 types of drug to make sure he is clinically stable. So when you put 4 or 5 drugs, obviously what happens, the drug compliance in the patient goes down. They don't take the drug, they forget to take the drug, and this leads to something very important. This is a group of patients who get hospitalized again and again for the same problem of heart failure because of the inefficient management. If you look at here, whenever I say there are heart failure, now the get is a prevalence. What is the condition in India? How many people are a heart failure? And how many people are going to be becoming heart failure in the future? Now the data in US shows almost 6.7 million people are already have heart failure in US, where the incidence, every year 1 million people are added to the list. So in spite of medical management, in US also, 27%, almost 30% of the patient who got heart failure and get admitted re-hospitalized again within 30 days. And when you go to 6 months, almost 50% of them get re-hospitalized again. So this is a very dreadful condition because these group of patients, once they're treated for heart failure, they keep on admitted and readmitted for the same reason. This is one disease condition in the cardiology or in throughout any disease you manage, the repeat hospitalization is very, very high. And then you should all ask me a question, when I'm talking about India, why do I put a data from US? Next slide. Unfortunately, in spite of the problem exists in India, there is no epidemiological data whatsoever to say how many patients of them are having heart failure in India, what is the incidence, how they are managed. Absolutely there is no data. In spite of 1.6 billion with thousands and thousands of hospitals, we don't have actually the data to show the impact of this heart failure in India and what it is causing like a burden to the family or to the nation or to the insurance company. So here, if you look at the data, roughly around 4.6 million people has been estimated to suffer from heart failure. In that, almost 1.8 million people will be added on every year. This is a rough estimation because we don't have any data. So this is an idea why we formed this advanced heart failure treatment program. It is not only a treatment program to treat the cardiac patient, and also we have initiated what we call a first time the National Heart Failure Registry. This registry will be able to track the patient's data on an online platform. So we definitely know how these heart failure patients are responding to our treatment on the follow-up period. So we can able to manage better than not having a data with us.
A series of inflatable cups apply pressure to the vascular beds in the calves, lower thighs, and upper thighs, including the buttocks. The cups inflate in sequence, beginning with those returns both arterial and venous blood to the heart. Then, EECP has three distinct acute effects on cardiac function. First, because the retrograde aortic blood flow produced arrives to the heart just when the heart relaxes, at the precise moment of the inception of diastole, there is an increase in coronary perfusion pressure and flow. Second, because pressure on the lower body vascular bed is released just before contraction, there is an immediate drop in peripheral vascular resistance, resulting in decreased afterload. Third, the combined effects of decreased afterload and increased venous return results in increased cardiac output without an increase in cardiac oxygen consumption. When stenosis or obstruction occurs in a coronary artery, the myocardium served by that artery and its associated vasculature becomes ischemic and may become necrotic. Patients with angina who receive EECP have demonstrated chronic benefit consisting in increased capacity for exercise with less ischemia. A suggested mechanism of action for this chronic effect is that the increased coronary perfusion that results from the retrograde blood flow produced by EECP favors the development of collateral vascularization. When the blood flow in a coronary artery is reduced, a pressure differential develops between normally perfused myocardium, labeled P1, and ischemic myocardium, labeled P2. During EECP, peak diastolic pressure may increase to 150 millimeters of mercury or more, thereby increasing the pressure differential. The increased perfusion pressure differential promotes the formation of...
See, when we talk about heart for a long period of time, so naturally the blood can able to pass the obstruction by opening the dormant collaterals. So it is detouring the obstruction, so the blood flow can be restored, so the heart function can be improved. So this EECP is a procedure which we are going to try to implement into this heart failure treatment program. So it could be a daycare procedure, non-invasive. So it is a non-invasive treatment option which will be given for a 6 weeks of period. The patient no need to be hospitalized and no need for any invasive procedure, and we can improve the heart function so that the patient can come out of his heart failure symptoms like shortness of breath, poor quality of life, not able to walk, have to take sorbitrate each and every 2 minutes before walking. All these things can be reduced and this patient can improve the quality of life. So this is our main idea to implement the EECP into the heart failure treatment program. So why it has not been implemented so far? Anything from the concept and science to the clinical practice take a long time. I would say it took almost 6 years for us to have a clinical study and implement into a real program which can help thousands of patients. The first implementation of this program, I would thank our dignitary Dr. Subraj. 6 years before, he identified this procedure and he incorporated into the health scheme. And because it was incorporated 6 years before the health scheme, the data starts pouring in from the government hospital and various places where they are doing the ECP. And slowly we have the confidence to create a program with the utmost sincerity and with the clear evidence to show this can able to improve the patient's condition and decrease the rehospitalization, which is a cornerstone in the treatment of heart failure.
Yes.